What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. Want to do something just a little different today and go through my league play setups, whether it's my creative class setup, my score streak setup, and just kind of talk about why I use each weapon, each attachment, and kind of go through that in detail so you guys can get a good head start if you guys are looking what classes to use, how to take advantage of some of the broken stuff here in league play, and just to basically do as good as you can. As you can guys tell, I am in elite class. I got re-ranked after the original placement matches from expert to elite, so apparently I'm like top 15% of players, which okay. I didn't do, it's not like I was like unbelievable in my games either, but right now pretty pumped that I'm 15th. I'm in the gems right now. I don't know if I'll falter outside of it. We'll have to wait and see. I do have a 2 win streak bonus, so that's nice, but I don't see myself getting up to number 1 there. That would be a lot of games played to reach that. That guy's 1,000 points ahead of the next closest guy, and he's also on a 6 win streak. What's my best win streak? It'll say. Best win streak was 4. It's been up and down here in league play. Anyways, so let's go through what my creative class setup is, and I'll kind of go tell you guys kind of why I use each attachment, why I like each gun. So this is my XM4 class. This is just a very typical XM4 class. I use the Microflex LED on all of my guns if I'm using an LED or a sight in general, because it reminds me a lot of the red dot sight from, what was it, Call of Duty 4, and I like the look of that the most. You know, I have seen people running, I think it's this one, which is very reminiscent of the Black Ops red dot sight, so that one's okay, but in reality this is what I go with all the time. It doesn't really add anything, it doesn't make anything different, but I do enjoy the Microflex LED the most. Because there's only 2, I always run infantry compensator. Vertical recoil control is very, very important. I don't find myself losing this gun to the right or left. I always find I lose it up and down. So if I can control that a little bit more, I will take the plus 12% vertical recoil control and lose the horizontal recoil control. Now we use field agent grip because, again, helps with our recoil control. I don't care about moving fast when I'm shooting. In general, it just doesn't matter to me in this game. The strafe in general isn't very fast here in Black Ops Cold War, so losing 26% of that doesn't really mean too much, and gaining the extra recoil control is extremely important, especially that plus 20 horizontal recoil control, because, well, you lose, what, 8% here, so you might as well, net 12, right? That's really important. Then for the handle, airborne elastic wrap. Again, I don't care about my shooting move speed. Sprint to fire time is the only thing that takes a hit here, but we're gonna make up for that with our barrel, or our whatever, the back end of the gun. The aim down sight time is the important thing here. You want a fast aim down sight time. I don't find I drop shot in this game very much, so being able to aim while I go prone doesn't really matter to me. I think they kind of wrecked drop shotting because you move out of your scope, but who cares? For our stock, we use Raider Pad because it has that sprint to fire time, which is important, and then you already have that bonus, so it like stacks that with your aim down sight time as well, so that's really important. And realistically, I'm not firing this gun from the hip very often anyways, so it doesn't really matter that it's plus or minus 30% here. I love this camo, and I love the duck accessory here, so that's what I use. For reticles, I just use the typical red dot sight. It's what I'm used to, it's what I've always used. I don't see any reason to move away from it. Now, would I like a different color? Most certainly. I would love it to be blue. I don't know why, but that's just the way I run it. I just run a naked pistol because I really don't often use my pistol. I'll move to it if I'm out of bullets and I need to get a quick kill, but that's about it. I use a flashbang here instead of smoke because I find flashing my enemies is extremely important, even though I normally use this just to see if there's going to be a trophy system in a hill or whatever it might be. So I'm using the flashbang almost for info if there's a trophy there. Semtex over frag grenade all day, every day. The quickness of being able to just throw it, even though you can kind of immediately detonate a frag versus a Semtex, because that Semtex takes a few seconds after it lands to blow up. I don't care. I love the Semtex more than anything. I've used it with every class since Modern Warfare 2. Trophy system, just for me, I find it to be the most useful out of these three. I don't really care about the assault pack or the SAM turret, just because there's not a lot of score streaks anyways. I run Lawbreaker on this class. I don't have a secondary primary weapon, but I run Lawbreaker on this class because Flak Jacket and Tac Mask are just so important. And this is one of the main reasons why I'd like to see Lawbreaker outlawed here in Black Ops Cold War, because being able to stack Flak Jacket and Tactical Mask is a little bit broken unless you're on top of being able to have two primary weapons is kind of broken. Now, if it was the traditional creative class system, I'd be fine with, you know, having to give up a flashbang or a semtex or even my trophy system to be able to run this, so I could have Tac Mask and Flak Jacket just because they're so important. And you want to run Ninja, you know, there's no need to run Ghost, there's no UAVs, so run Ninja for the sole purpose of just being a little bit quieter. Sure, your footsteps might be heard, you still get heard when you slide, when you're planting a bomb and SMD, but just having Ninja to have that freedom to move around the map is super important, especially in League play, because everyone is trying that much harder. Everyone's plugged into a headset most likely, and they can hear you. So you know when somebody doesn't have Ninja, and it makes it for easy pickings, especially in SND. I have an AK-47 class, but honestly, I don't use this class very much. I have Gunfighter on it. We're running Quartermaster just so I can regenerate my grenades faster. That's the only reason why I have that. What we have here for attachments is going to be very similar, right? You're going to have the Microflex LED, you're going to have the Spetsnaz compensator. I put the Liberator on here for the barrel, just for the bullet velocity. That's all that matters here. Steady aim laser, because if you're running Gunfighter on a weapon, there's only one body you can run, and it's steady aim laser. We're going to use the same grip here, which will be the 5th grip always with every gun. Tape mags just because I like that reload speed, and it doesn't take any minuses away from anything, which when you look at all the other ones, it does. So I just wanted something that gave me a good pro, which this gives me reload quickness. I don't really use this gun very often, but you can see there's a definite theme here. I'm using the last barrel, which is always, or last grip, which is always the best one, or the last handle, pardon me, and the last stock, which are always the best ones. Flashbang Semtex going to be very similar here. With the Krig, this is my SND class. This is my, I'm going to post up on a window, look down long lines of sight, because the Krig is just so damn accurate. It's such a great gun. Once again, we're not changing anything up here from what you guys saw on my AK-70 or on my AK-47, just because I like to keep things consistent. Everything's the same, and that's because it works. These classes work. So if you guys are looking for ideas, remember, all this is unlocked. So if you're using Gunfighter, make sure you got that Ranger on. I'm not telling you to increase your effective damage range. It does not matter. Use something like this. Use that bullet velocity, get that bullet velocity up. Yeah, realistically, to me, I think these are all extremely important to use. You know, one of the big reasons why you don't go to the speed grip is because you lose that vertical recoil control, which I'm not saying it's super important, but it makes a difference. So do whatever you can to control your recoil, and don't worry about some of these other ones, and just kind of follow this and you'll be fine for your ARs. And I'm telling you guys, the Krig is an awesome weapon if you're going to watch Lines of Sight in SND. I just kind of made a BS sort of XM4 class for running, just because I wanted that extra speed, so you get a better sprint to fire time. I didn't really do much with this class, like put the bruiser grip on. I never use this class, if I'm being honest, so this class just doesn't make sense. Now we're going to go to my main class that I use all the time. This is extremely broken, and this is what I'd love to see Treyarch fixed. My XM4 is set up the same way that it normally is. Have the same setup here with Lawbreaker, Flak Jacket, Tac Mask with the flashbang. But the AK-74U is where things change just a wee bit. Now, muzzle brake, once again, we're using that Spetsnaz compensator for that extra recoil control. For the barrel, I'm using extended. Now, I do know some people who use Liberator. I do know some people who use rifled to get that extra effective damage range. And I'm not saying either of those are wrong. The reason why I'm using extended is because I don't want to lose that aim, walk, and movement speed. I want to have the ability to kind of pre-aim a spot and walk in, and I don't want to lose that little bit of movement speed that I get just for a little bit extra bullet velocity. So I use extended because there's no cons, there's only pros. Underbarrel, I use foregrip over Spetsnaz grip just because, again, I want to be a little bit faster with the AK-74U, so that shooting move speed matters here. I'm not trying to necessarily strafe when I'm using other weapons, but when I'm using the AK-74U because I want to be a little bit more agile, I'm using the foregrip over using the Spetsnaz grip. For handle, again, GRU, and stock, again, KGB skeletal stock. Sometimes, so this class is extremely broken because I basically have 2 primary weapons, and I also have the 2 best. Oh, my game. Ha! What? You've been disconnected? Did I lose connection to my internet? No, just Cold War kicked me out because it's Cold War, man. Holy crap, what a broken game sometimes. I was gonna say, this is the other AK-74U class I use sometimes, but I was gonna say this is a broken class because not only do I have the 2 best first perks, I also have 2 extremely strong primary weapons, and they're just both broken. Again, you're going to see a very common theme here. All my perks are the same, always. I'm always running Lawbreaker. This one's a bit of a different class just because I wanted to have some fun. I put rifled on this class. I still have foregrip. I have the GRU Elastigrat, but I have the fire stock for that extra sprint to fire time. So this is kind of, if we need a hill on control or on hardpoint, I'll throw this on just because I get that faster sprint to fire time. That's the only reason why I use that. Now we're just going to go quickly into score streaks. I'm going to just tell you guys, I use these 3 just because chances are you're not getting an attack helicopter in a league play game, and if you are a freak. Same with VTOL Escort or the Gunship or any of these. This is what you run. I know some people just run this, that's fine. I know some people who just run this, and that's also fine. But realistically, set your 3 kill streaks up. Go ham. Napalm's great, artillery is great, and cruise missile is great. I don't use it in normal multiplayer. I'll show you guys what my kill streak setup is in normal multiplayer. I think that's because I have the war machine here, so I just don't use artillery and swap out the war machine for it. Sometimes I'll swap out napalm for a hater, but that's only if I'm feeling super try hard. So guys, that's kind of the outline of the classes I use in league play. So if you guys want to mimic my classes, that's great. If you guys have any questions about any other perks I use, or about any attachments I use, or the guns, like why don't I use a MP5? Because it's not as good as the AK-74U. Why don't I use the QBZ? Again, not as good as some of the other assault rifles. So in general, guys, that's the reasoning behind every weapon here. This is basically every weapon that everyone uses, and I've just made the best classes that I feel the most comfortable with. So I leave it in your hands, guys. Try things out, be kind of experimental, but definitely have classes you stick to. Have your go-to, like, oh, I'm doing bad class, this is this class for me, and I need to get a couple kills. That's when I use the XM4. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below in the comment section if you guys would do anything differently in your league play classes. And as always, guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time.